What's up, everybody? Today we're talking about Jurassic World Evolution 3, and I've absolutely been lost in this game for the past couple of weeks. Like, generally lost. My sleep schedule is wrecked, my coffee consumption has doubled, and I'm starting to refer to my pets as assets that need containment. So yeah, I definitely think it's safe to say that the Frontiers got their hooks in me again. But here's the thing, this isn't just another sequel where they slapped on a 3 on the box and called it a day. After sinking about 50 hours into building parks, managing disasters, and watching baby dinosaurs trip over their own little adorable feet, I can tell you exactly what works, what doesn't, and whether you should drop your cash on this prehistoric playground. Let me paint a picture to you of what Jurassic World 3 actually is, because if you're new to the series, you might be wondering what the fuss is all about. At its core, this is a theme park management game where attractions happen to be 65 million old creatures that would absolutely love to eat your guests given half a chance. Think Roller Coaster Tycoon meets Jurassic Park, all the chaos that implies. You're essentially playing a person that John Hammond wished he could be, someone who actually knows how to run a dinosaur theme park without everything going horribly wrong. Okay, well, without mostly everything going horribly. Disasters are still here, and they're still spectacular, but at least now you have the tools to deal with them properly. The game picks up where Evolution 2 left off, but you don't need to have played the previous games to jump in here. Frontier has done a solid job at making this accessible to newcomers while giving returning players enough new toys to play with. And when I say toys, I mean features that fundamentally change how you approach park building. So the campaign kicks off with you managing parks around the globe. And right away, the structure feels different than what we've seen before. You're not just moving literally from one park to the next. Instead, you're bouncing between locations like some sort of prehistoric troubleshooter. Start building in Montana, run into it with disease outbreaks, then you jet off to Europe to research for a solution. Head to Asia to secure funding from some conservation groups, and then circle back and apply everything you've just learned. This interconnected approach makes so much more sense than the older linear progression. It feels like you're actually building a network of parks rather than just checking for boxes on a list. Plus, it naturally teaches you the game systems without feeling like you're in tutorial hell for hours. The story revolves around an activist group called Extinction Now, and yeah, it's pretty basic. The name tells you everything you need to know about their stance on bringing back dinosaurs. They consistently try to sabotage your operations, hacking into your system, causing problems, and generally being a pain in your ass. It's not going to win any writing awards, trust me, but it provides enough narrative tissue to connect the gameplay moments. And then there's Jeff Goldblum as Ian Malcolm, continues to be an absolute treasure. The way he delivers his lines with this completely unhinged energy, like every word is a jazz improvisation. There's this one moment where he's explaining chaos theory while you're dealing with the T-Rex outbreak that's just complete gold and it's funny as hell. The man could read a grocery list and somehow make it sound profound philosophy. The supporting cast does their job well enough. Cabot Finch returns as your main guide, and he's grown over me over the series. There's also this corporate suit character who only cares about profits, because of course there is. It wouldn't be Jurassic Park without someone making terrible decisions for money. I want to go ahead and give credit where credit is due. What really impressed me about this campaign is the pacing. Just when you think you got everything figured out, it throws something new at you. Maybe it's a new species with weird requirements, or a financial crisis that forces you to optimize everything. I never felt like I was just going through the motions, which is actually really rare for a management game campaign. Okay, let's talk about the big headline feature, baby dinosaurs. When they announced this, I thought it was just going to be some cute gimmick, you know? Smaller versions of little adults running around, maybe some adorable animations, and just call it a day. But no, this completely changes the park management game. First off, you now have to think about breeding programs. You need male and female dinosaurs, proper nesting sites, the right environmental conditions, get all that sorted, and then nature takes its course, hubba bubba. Then you get eggs and eventually tiny prehistoric creatures stumbling around your enclosures. And I'm not gonna lie, the first time I saw a baby triceratops trying to keep up with its parents, my cold, cynical heart grew 3 times bigger. But here's where the game gets really interesting from a gameplay perspective. Baby dinosaurs have a completely different needs from adults. Adult carnivores hunt for their food, but babies need prepared meat stations because they can't take down a prey yet. Adult herbivores munch on tree tops, but the baby needs ground level plants that they can actually reach. It's a whole nother layer of the park planning that makes you reconsider every enclosure design. And if you're not careful with the population control, things get out of hand very fast. I had this packet-sale enclosure that actually turned basically into a dinosaur nursery. Started with 4 adults, and before I knew it, there were 15 dinosaurs headbutting each other for space. The stress levels went through the roof, and they broke out, and suddenly I'm dealing with the stampede of dome-head dinosaurs terrorizing the food court. It was hilarious and terrifyingly equal measure. The breeding system also ties into new faction mechanics. Entertainment division wants you breeding spectacular hybrids for the wow factor. Conservation wants sustainable populations with generic diversity. Security just wants you to stop creating new ways for dinosaurs to escape and eat people. Balancing these complete interests while managing your breeding programs adds the strategic layer that keeps you engaged even during the quieter moments. The modular building system is probably the most divisive new feature, and I get why. When you're coming from Evolution 2, where you just placed pre-made buildings and moved on, suddenly having to construct things piece by piece can feel overwhelming. My first attempt at building a custom visitor center looked like someone gave a 5-year-old a box of Legos and told them to just go wild. But once you get the hang of it, once you understand how the pieces fit together, it becomes incredibly addictive. You can create these elaborate structures that actually look like they belong in your park. Custom layouts for shops, unique viewing galleries, bridges that span canyons, the possibilities are absolutely impressive. With that said, if you're not into the whole construction thing, there's plenty of prefab options. Every amenity has multiple pre-built variants in different architectural styles. Mediterranean, brutalist, modern classic Jurassic Park, whatever fits your park vibe, and the community workshop is already filling up with incredible custom designs that put my little attempts to shame. The terrain tools deserve special mention because they've gone from frustrating to absolutely fantastic. In Evolution 2, trying to create a dramatic elevation changes was like wrestling with the game engine. Now you can carve out deep canyons, build towering, and create these epic landscapes that make you feel like your park is super unique. And that automatic water fill system, pure genius. Setting up water at different elevations and watching the cascade waterfalls appear naturally is such a simple addition that makes a massive visual impact. The path to customization might not sound exciting, but trust me on this, being able to recall every path type is a game changer for park theming. You can create zones with different colored walkways, maybe earth tones for your herbivore gardens, stark white for your research facilities, danger red for the carnivore kingdom. It's these little touches that make your park feel cohesive rather than just a collection of Now, if you're like me and generally getting tired of objectives and just want to build without restriction, Sandbox mode is where you spend most of your time. The customization options here are borderline ridiculous. You can tweak everything, starting with money, weather frequencies, dinosaur aggression levels, guest intelligence, which honestly might be my favorite slider because you can finally have your guests smart enough not to tap on the T-Rex glass. The random island generator is brilliant for keeping things fresh. Instead of building on the same map over and over again, you generate complete unique islands with different teleographs, coastlines, mountain ranges, each one presenting new challenges and opportunity for a creative park layout. Though I do wish they expand on this beyond typical setting. Give me a random Arctic island or a desert plateau to work with. But my biggest gripe here, and it's such a weird limitation, you can only have one park entrance even in Sandbox mode. Like, what's the reason why? If I want to build a massive park with multiple entry points for better guest flow, just let me do it. It's these arbitrary restrictions that occasionally pull you out of the creative flow and remind you that you're still bound by game logic rather than actual design principles. And let's be honest about what Evolution 3 nails and where it stumbles somewhat. Visually, this game is absolutely stunning. The lighting system creates these incredible atmospheric moments. Sunrise over the Brontosaurus paddock, storm clouds gathering while raptors hunt, the golden hour glow as guests flee in terror. The dinosaur models are incredibly detailed, down to the scars and the skin textures. And the babies, they're almost unfairly adorable with their oversized heads and their clumsy little movements. The sound designs is equally impressive. Each species has unique that you learn to recognize. The ambush predators have this low growl that makes your spine tingle. The peaceful have these content rumbles. And when things go wrong, the audio sells it completely. The panic in the crowd, the alarm sirens, the thunderous footsteps of an escaped predator, all combine to create this genuine atmosphere, but the AI still has some issues that become more noticeable the longer you play. Dinosaurs line up to perform animations like they're waiting for their scene in the play. The babies constantly run to position themselves behind their parents in this weird robotic pattern, and combat is still disappointingly turn-based. After 3 games, dinosaurs still politely take their turns biting each other rather than engaging in dynamic fights. The hunting behavior changes are a double-edged sword. Carnivores now only hunt when they're actually starving, which can take 20 to 30 minutes depending on the species. This is great if you're trying to maintain a balanced ecosystem where herbivores can actually survive and breed, But if you're here for the chaos, if you want to watch dinosaurs hunt and create mayhem, you're in for a lot of waiting. The actual park management has been refined to hit that sweet spot between complexity and accessibility. You're juggling dinosaurs' welfare and financial stability, but it never feels overwhelming. The interface clearly shows you where you need these amenities with color. Guest references make logical sense. Families want different things than seekers. The new automated systems are godsends. Teams that actually handle maintenance, security cameras that can dispatch response teams without your input, medical stations that treat minor dinosaur injuries on their own. These quality of life improvements remove the tedious work to focus on the fun parts of park building. But when disasters do strike, and they will strike, taking direct control never gets old. A helicopter to tranquilize and escape wrecks while guests scatter below remains thrilling as hell. Jumping into a ranger jeep to medicate sick dinosaurs during a disease outbreak feels heroic. These moments of direct intervention break up the management gameplay perfectly. The contract system returned with 3 factions: entertainment, security, and conservation. Each wants different things, and keeping them balanced requires actual strategic thinking. Do you breed the dangerous hybrid that entertainment wants, knowing it'll upset conservation? Do you implement the security measures that'll cost a fortune but keep security happy? These decisions have real consequences for your park development. On the technical side, Evolution 3 runs smoothly for most part. I'm playing on a PC with a decent rig, nothing too crazy, and I'm maintaining frame rates even with massive parks full of dinosaurs and guests. Load times are reasonable, though switching between campaign parks can take a moment to process everything. I've hit a few bugs, dinosaurs are occasionally getting stuck on terrain, guests walking through fences like ghosts, revenue calculations go wonky until you reload. Nothing game breaking, but enough to occasionally break the immersion. Frontier's been pretty good about patches though, so I guess these issues will get ironed out pretty soon. The UI deserves praise for being clean and intuitive. Information is easy to find, menus are logically organized, and the important alerts grab your attention without being obnoxious. You can tell Frontier has years of experience making these games, and it shows all these little quality of life details that you don't notice until they've done it right. We need to address them in the room. The game launches with fewer dinosaur species than Evolution ended with all the DLC. This feels calculated and not in a good way. We all know DLC packs are coming with a few species, but starting with a smaller roster than your predecessors finished with leaves a sour taste. It's not a deal breaker, but it's disappointing to say the least. That said, what's here is polished and each species feels unique. The semi-aquatic dinosaurs are particularly cool, even if they still restrict to species water features rather than freely swimming in larger bodies of water. Maybe full aquatic dinosaurs will come in the DLC? One can only hope. Long-term appeal challenge mode exists for players who need structure objectives, but honestly, it's the weakest part of the package. The scenarios are fine, photo safaris with limited resources, managing parks with building restrictions, that sort of thing, but time challenges feel identical what makes Evolution games enjoyable. The zen of slowly perfecting your park layout gets lost when you're racing against the clock. For the Site B enthusiasts who want to just enjoy creating natural ecosystems, Evolution 3 is better than ever, but not perfect. You need infrastructure to get started, which breaks the wild fantasy. But once you've got breeding populations established, you can remove the human elements and let nature do its thing. The carnivores only hunt when hungry means hoverboard populations can actually sustain themselves, which is huge for the ecosystem building, but the limitations become apparent over time. It's still scripted behaviors rather than dynamic ecosystems. After you build a few wild reserves, the novelty wears off quickly. How many times can you watch the same hunting animations before it gets old? So where does this leave us all? Jurassic World 3 is the most refined, feature-complete entry of the series. It doesn't revolutionize the formula, but it does polish it to a minor shine. The baby dinosaurs add meaningful depth, the building tools give creative players endless possibilities, and the campaign is generally worth playing through, but it's still iterative rather than innovative. If you bounced off the previous game because the management felt too shallow or the gameplay loop got a little repetitive, this won't change your mind either. The core experience remains the same, just more bells and whistles. For the fans of the series, this is essential. Every rough edge has been smoothed out. The quality of life improvements alone justifies the purchase. For newcomers, this is the best entry point. The campaign teaches you everything naturally, and you're getting the most refined version of the formula. For creative builders, this is the new paradise. The new tools and the customization options will keep you busy for hundreds of hours. For management fans, it's solid but not super revolutionary. For chaos lovers, the new hunting behavior might be a downgrade for you. I'm giving Jurassic World an 8 out of 10. It's not perfect, but it's excellent at what it does. It captures that childhood dream of running your own dinosaur park while adding just enough complexity to keep adults engaged. When everything clicks, when you successfully contain an outbreak, when you watch your carefully planned ecosystem thrive, when you create that perfect dinosaur silhouetted at the sunset, it feels magical. The game knows exactly what it wants to be and executes that vision with confidence. Sometimes playing it safe is the right call, especially when it means delivering exactly what fans want with impressive polish and clear passion for the source material. Alright guys, that's my take on Jurassic World 3, but reviews are just subjective, right? Maybe you'll have a completely different experience. If you pick it up, come back and drop a comment. Tell me about your parks, your disasters, and that one time that baby T-Rex colony decided to stage a prison break. If this review helped you out, consider subscribing. I do deep dives like this for big releases, and I promise to always give you my honest thoughts, not just buy-it marketing talking points. And hey, if you want to watch me build parks live, and probably make pretty bad decisions that will give Ian Malcolm an aneurysm, I stream most nights over on Twitch. Link is in the description. We have a chill community. Until next time, remember to spare no expense, unless it's on proper security system, then maybe spare a little expense. Thanks for watching. Catch you on the next one. Stay safe, stay secure, and stay alpha.